Hello, my name's Hannah and I'm the C5 nut. Well, kind of dirty, haven't we? Fucking, yeah. Been playing around with cars and motorhomes and God knows what else. But today's project, well, probably not project, but we've got the world famous car, Cecily! Right, so yes, we've got the wonderful Cecily back in again. Today's job is we're going to be replacing the handbrake cables. The driver's side tends to normally seize up, and unfortunately Phil, the owner, had issues with her last week, and yeah, we've got all the bits. We're gonna well, basically give her a new set of handbrake cables. So right, so the first thing to do is obviously we need to slacken off the cable, then get the car up in the air. We need to drop the exhaust down, remove the heat shield, and then that will gives us access to the actual handbrake tubes. Now Phil is obsessing with cleaning, aren't you, mate?
I like to see out of it.
You like to see out of it? You're not exactly going to see out through the headlight though, are you, mate?
No, others might. Look at the state of this.
Yeah.
More salt than your chips.
I know. Jeez, that is... Let me just zoom in a little bit. That's quite a lot of salt on that one, mate. Look at that. Yeah. It's like it's never been washed. Also today we've got our little fluffy friend Jessie. She's going to be helping on the spanners, aren't you, Jessie? Yes you are, darling. Yes you are. Right, so let's slacken off the cable, let's get it up in the air, and let's crack on. Okay guys, so I've now taken the two 10mm bolts out of there. I've also just pulled the switch off and all the necessary trims. There is a little plate here that you've got to pull out, and obviously the handbrake stuff. That needs to go. But yeah, once you've done all of them, this will now lift off and then come out. Once you've taken it out, you see a long bolt which is connected to the handbrake. You need to slacken that off and then remove the two the handbrake cables. Now there is a little slot on the side and it will pop off. If you watch later on in the video, I will show you a little bit more in depth on how the cables click in. So yeah, carry on watching the video guys, and I'll bring you back. Right guys, so as you can see, we've now got the car up in the air. What we need to do is, as you see that cable just there, yeah, she's in really poor state, so we're going to change that, and we're going to do both sides anyway. Passenger side doesn't look too bad, but we're going to change it anyway. Now to do this, now I have done quite a few of these in the past. Other times I've just taken the exhaust off. This particular time I think I might keep it on. What you need to do is undo this bracket here. Now not every C5 has this bracket. The Mark of the petrol versions don't actually have the exhaust bolted to it, but you still need to move that bracket nonetheless. Now there is a 13mm nut on both sides. You've got to remove that. Just basically pull the rubbers off on the exhaust. No need to remove any of these brackets or anything like that. They can just stay put. You should be able to just slow it down enough. Once we've done that, this heat shield needs to come off. And again guys, you've got to move these bolts. Let me just turn that better. So these what looks like screw heads. All you've got to do is put the flat-headed screwdriver in there and turn it 90 degrees and it will just pop straight out. So we've got to remove the old heat shield in order for us to get to the inner part of where the pipes for the handbrake cable goes. So what I'm going to do guys, I'm going to pause the video, I'm going to remove this bracket, I'm gonna drop the exhaust down and remove this heat shield, and I'll bring you back. Right guys, so as you can see, we've now removed the massive heat shield, and they are the cables. Now, you're probably wondering why this wasn't painted when the car was in the workshop. And if I just pull down that, you can clearly see, I'll just zoom in a little bit, yeah, I didn't remove the heat shield, but everywhere else underneath I did. These don't tend to have any issues whatsoever. As you can see, it's nice and clean under here. But what we are going to do is, once we fitted the new the pipes for the handbrake, we will be painting all of this while we're here. So I'll just zoom out. So we have got the exhaust propped up. We haven't taken it off down at the other end. We've got plenty of room to do. So these normally just push in, so all you have to do is pull them out. There is a clip just there. Don't know if you can see that. There's a clip that will just pop off, and then there's one 10mm bolt. Now I don't know if I can do this one. Yeah, I'll see if I can zoom it in. Right, so just there's that 10mm bolt. We've got to take that out, and that's for that handbrake tube. You can see the actual overall condition. It is a bit crap, so we're just going to replace it, and that's on both sides. So there we are. There's the other nut just up there. Passenger side isn't too bad, but if you're doing one, you might as well do the other. Right guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo the nuts, and we pull them through. One last thing is, you want to also undo the cable down at the caliper end. That just helps it. You should be able to just pull it out backwards basically. So yeah, make sure you disconnect the caliper from the cable. I've still got to do this side. That won't take me that long to do. Right, I'll bring you back. Right, so guys, driver's one came off so easy. I mean, it literally just fell out. Passenger one, not so, because roughly about here there's a bracket which holds the power steering pipe to the subframe. I'll see if I can get the torch. See that particular bracket right there with the light on? I'll zoom in a little bit. See that epoxy bracket? Well, the handbrake tube actually goes behind that. So when you come to actually remove it from the car, you have to bend it, and there's no other way of getting it out, and it has to come out through the center here. You can't pull it out through the passenger side. There's too many bends and curves and stuff like that, and as you can see towards like part of it just here, that's quite straight. So yeah, the only other way to get it out is literally manhandle it, bend the hell out of it. I nearly got the angle grinder out to cut it, but yeah, I decided to persevere with it and just lever it off with a lever bar. So we have got new ones, and we got new cables, obviously. But the funny thing is Phil, the owner, you all right there, Phil?
Oh, hi.
He's actually went and bought genuine parts. Okay, maybe not the cables themselves, but the actual tubes. These are actually genuine parts, which is, I'm glad to see. Even though some sort of copycats out there who do make good quality parts, they're not as quality as, you know, the genuine parts. So it's good to see that you can still buy genuine parts for this car. Right, I think tea time, and then we get these back in the car. Right guys, so we've now taken the old units off, we now put the new ones on. Like I said, the passenger side is a bit of a nightmare. because of that bracket just down there. I'll zoom in again so you guys can see. Yeah, that was a bit of a nightmare. It's all well and truly lubed. I will say, when you do put the actual handbrake cable into those tubes, make sure you lube the hell out of them, because they do suffer with dryness. Yeah, and the same on this side. You see that? Nicey nice. Right, so everything's all back on the caliper on both sides. See, it's there. What we're going to do at this stage now is we've already cleaned most of the stuff under here. There is one or two bits just there that we need to just wipe down, but we will then paint all of this under sealant stuff, and then put the heat shield back on. So yeah, I'll bring you back when I start painting.
Right, your turn.
Alright guys, so as you can see, it's nice and shiny and black all under here. Yeah, we went a bit nuts with it. Yeah, nice. That looks really good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to have to manhandle the heat shield back under there, and basically it's just whatever you took off, you just need to put back on. So we're going to put the heat shield back on, we're going to put that brace back on, we're going to reattach the exhaust back to its rubbers again, and what we do is I'll do that and I'll bring you guys back. Right guys, so now everything's all back together, the heat shield's on, the brackets are back on, exhaust rubber mounts all back on. Yeah, yeah. So what we now need to do is obviously double check, make sure that the handbrake cables are on the calipers, which they are. Zoom in. And we do the same on the other side. Yeah, that's all fine. And what we're going to do is, now we don't need to do anything underneath the car, we're just going to lower it down, and then we're going to adjust the handbrake. So that will be the fun bit. So let me get the car down, and I'll bring you back. You will need a 13mm socket to adjust the rear here, and all that's doing is adjusting the shaft. So oh yeah, that needs to go down as well, doesn't it? Right, now let's see if we can reattach these cables. Now they do just slot in. There's a little slot just here, so the cable goes through the slot and then clips in. Yeah, it's easy said than done doing it one-handed. Is that going to go in? Come on. Right, there you go. So that's now clipped into place. Right, I'm not going to be able to do that side. I need my other hand, so I'm going to pause the video, quickly clip this on, and then I'll bring you back. Right guys, so now both cables are on. I've tweaked it a little bit. You want a tiny bit of slack, but not a great deal, and you will need to operate the handbrake a few times, like so. Right, now because these are new cables, they will stretch over a period of a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months. So what you want to do is don't over adjust them, but you need to let the cable settle, and it will take a couple of weeks. So at some point I will be coming back to readjust the handbrake cable, but for now it's perfectly fine, everything is okay. So what we need to now do is put the centre console back in, and there's like two 10mm bolts under here, so we're going to quickly do that. Jessie's going to give me a hand, aren't you, darling? Yes, you are. You're going to give me a hand, aren't you, darling? Yes. Right, so I'm going to quickly bung this back in, and I'll bring you back. Well, guys, the second the car went down, what has happened? Look, he's at it again. Mate, can't you just, like, you're obsessive with this car.
Well, you have to be, don't you? Spending on.
Yeah, he couldn't wait for the car to get back on its wheel so he can carry on cleaning. Oh, really nice job there. Yeah, that's really nice. Mate, do you want to do my car? Yeah. Well, guys, this is where I'm going to leave the video. Just because I don't know what else to say, and I think there's a lot of content we've got already for doing handbrakes. Just if you guys attempt it, you see exactly what I mean with regards to that passenger side. It is a bit of a nightmare with that bracket in a way. And no, you don't need to drop the subframe. I did see some people on the forums that said, oh, you need to drop the chassis rails just to do it. No, you don't. You can clearly see on this video that you don't need to do that at all. You can do it in situ. And if you've got the options to use a ramp, you don't necessarily need to take the wheels off either. So that's a massive bonus. So yeah, this is where I'm going to leave it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe and tick the bell option. That will notify that notifies you the next time I upload a video. So take care, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.
Have a nice day.
You too, mate. See you soon. See you later, Cecily. Nice car. I do like the C5, so let's see if I can zoom in a little bit, eh? So where is he? He's round on that corner there. And he should be. There she is! Let's see if we can see her down on this end. See ya! Nice.